following opinion and comment on this show do not reflect the opinions of the staff, management, ownership of FFN Radio Network. The host of the show is not a physician, a therapist, or a counselor. His thoughts are his own and his alone, and not the opinion of FFN Radio Network. Welcome to Unboxed Thoughts with Nicholas Parsons.
What are you doing? Why are you still holding back? Have you forgotten what they said to us? What they did? They think you're a monster. Prove them right.
What is going on, everybody? How's everybody's day? Hope you all had a great weekend. I hope you all had a great week. Guys, tonight's show is probably going to be as good as it could ever possibly get. But before we get into that, I want to wish everybody a happy Monday. All right, happy Motivational Monday. All right. But before I say that, guys, we got a special one for you today. I honestly got to say, I tell you guys every week when I come into this show on a Monday, you never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get. And I think I've only had maybe like 3 topics on every episode. And, tonight was going to be no different. All right. I didn't have anything in particular that I really wanted to talk about. It all comes off the cuff, usually about 2 hours before the show airs. And guys, I know this gentleman. All right. And, I was talking to him last night. And he ends up asking me, he says, "Hey, Nick," he's like, "did I ever show you those videos?" And I said, "What videos?" We usually send stuff back and forth all the time. This man sent me about 3 or 4 videos. I watched literally about a minute and a half of one of these videos. And I completely cut it off. Didn't even want to watch it anymore. Stopped the video, swiped out of the page, and I hit this guy back up. And I said, "Hey, listen." I'm like, I was basically debating on going another route for my show tomorrow. I said, but after watching a minute and a half of that video, I said, I know it's last minute. But would you come on my show? He said, his basketball season's all done. He's on his little downtime. And he said, "Nick, my schedule is pretty much open." And I said, "So you do it tonight?" He said, "Absolutely." Guys, what defines a champion? This man right here has overcome so many obstacles. He's defined all the odds. All right. And, I needed him to come on here and share his life experiences with you guys. What it's taken this man to go from having everything against him. I don't even want to take any more spotlight from this guy. I don't want to say anymore. So without further ado, guys, please welcome my guest today, Robert Fields, a.k.a. Coach.
Rock hands!
Coach,
How are we
how's it
doing
going
today,
with you
sir?
today, my man?
How are we?
You like that little intro?
Absolutely. Brings
I
right
told you,
energy, man.
for today's show, man, you deserve the best. So, how's your day going?
It's going pretty good, man. I've been waiting for this opportunity since the middle of last night, so I'm glad we're here, and let's see what we can do.
I know you heard a little bit of what I was talking about while you were waiting in the background, and dude, I'm telling you, when you showed me those videos last night, it's basically stop everything. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta ask him. I gotta get him on the show, and he's gonna share this. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I told you this too. Those 4 videos you sent me, or 3 or 4 videos, I didn't watch 3 of them, and literally only a minute and a half of one of them. So thank you so much for even coming on here. With last minute, and have this experience with us and the rest of the FFN Radio Network and Unboxed Thoughts family. So, I just want to say, just give us like, so where you from?
I am from Riverside, California.
And Robert, how old are you now?
Right now, I am 31 years old.
She's 31 years old. Robert, if you don't mind, I had sent a clip to our producer,
Okay.
and if you don't mind, all right, because I want to get right into this, and I want you to be able to share everything possible with us. So if you don't mind, if we could play that video, please, Blaze Man. As he pulls it up.
Now meet a boy who knows more about making it in this world than most of us will ever know. Sandra Hughes has RJ's story.
Where's your iPod?
Right here.
Where's your phone? Where's your lunch?
It's a typical teenager's morning routine. But RJ Field, a sophomore from Riverside, California, is anything but a typical teenager.
You're adding.
Everything about school is a struggle for RJ.
Great.
He can barely read because his vision is so terrible. Only one hand works well, and walking is a major ordeal.
When you make new friends, do they ask you, were you born like this?
Yeah, which I'm fine with it, but it's part of life, like all my other struggles.
What do you tell them?
I tell them that my mom did drugs, and she made me have to be born this way.
He was born addicted to heroin, with meth, alcohol, and cocaine also in his system. Months premature, he weighed only 2 pounds. His birth mother, who was on public assistance, abandoned him at the hospital. No one expected him to survive. But then again, surprising folks is what RJ does best.
Business cards?
Yep.
Now 16, he just won an essay contest sponsored by California legislator John Benoit called There Ought to Be a Law.
For my entire life, I will need assistance.
This is what RJ is proposing. All welfare recipients would be randomly tested for drugs. If they test positive, they'd be offered help. But if they refuse to enter drug rehab, they would lose their benefits. It's not just about the human cost, says RJ, but the cost to taxpayers as well. The school district provides a full-time aide and a special PE teacher. His medical bills are well into the millions. At a Republican ladies' luncheon, RJ campaigned to turn his idea into a real law.
I'm just hoping that a lot of people understand.
Brilliant idea, RJ.
Thank you, I'm glad.
Why should there be a law against it, RJ?
So that we can clean up the people and get babies so they don't turn out like I did and they don't have to go through what I went through or what I'm going through.
RJ's PE teacher is the same teacher who taught him how to walk way back in kindergarten. He's had nothing but encouragement from the foster parents who raised him.
We've never told him there's something you can't do. We'll just tell him you can do it. Just figure out a way.
Like earning a varsity letter in football for assisting Coach Peter McGowan.
He has a great attitude. He's a survivor. He's a lawyer.
You don't let much hold you back, do you?
No, not a whole lot.
RJ heads to Sacramento this week to introduce his bill to the California legislature. He knows that turning his idea into RJ's law will be an uphill battle. But RJ's not worried. He's already conquered mountains. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Riverside, California.
Fucking champion guy. So tell us about it, man. From day one.
From day one to what
now.
From day one to what I can remember, a little bit more brief. Like the video already said, I was born 2 pounds 2 ounces. I had a mother who unfortunately abused drugs and alcohol and every drug in the book, like it even stated, and abused the system. And the whole purpose of the law that we were trying to pass and whatnot, and it did pass, or parts of it, I should say, passed in like Florida and some other places like that. But she abused the welfare system and basically used that free state government money to not buy essential needs for a person like myself. She unfortunately used it irresponsibly and bought drugs and bought things that she shouldn't do. So basically, to elaborate more about the law, I wrote the law, and the whole logistics of it was to do like a 3-strike system, like if you were in baseball, because um, my dad, because I don't call him my adopted dad or whatever, but my dad was going for a random drug test for one of his jobs, and I simply asked the question, well, "Why are you doing that? You don't do drugs." And I was, a little bit younger at the time and didn't understand the concept. And then, of course, they sat me down and explained it to me. And so then this opportunity about the law came out, and I talked to the Senate. He's a good friend of mine, and we made something happen with that. And it's just been a growing experience ever since then. Um, After the law, finished high school, and I wasn't going to stop coaching. I started coaching when I was I think I was a sophomore in high school. That's where I learned the game. I had a dear friend of mine. I'm still great friends with him. He's one of my best friends. He's my mentor, who taught me what I do best, and that's coaching. And not just coaching in general, not just coaching a particular sport, coaching in life, and that's what I do for a living, and I love it. I'm a CIF champion. I don't talk about that very much, but when times are necessary, I talk about that. Now that's a journey that I still continue to grow from. I'm a winner. I'm a fighter. If you have any questions, throw them at me, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
Dude, a champion ain't even really the word, dude. Like you're like the definition of you're a warrior guy. You really are a warrior. So like, okay, so you even you got a scholarship even to play football?
No, I didn't get. It wasn't a scholarship. So basically, because I had the scooter that it showed in the video. I walk in a walker. Currently, still to this day, I could never really play the sport. So
Right.
my mentor at the time, and he still is, and we still communicate to this day. But at the time, he had mentioned to me, "Hey, I want you to come learn this game." And I looked at him and I said, "Not me. I can't. What are you talking about? To learn the game, I can't play. What do you expect me to do?" And he's like, "For the first year or two, I want you to just be like a typical water boy, kind of the feel sorry case." And then it was beginning to be that more and more. And I just stood up to him. And keep in mind, at the time, he was like 31 years old. And I said, if I'm going to continue to do it like this, I'm not going to do it anymore. So give me a better opportunity. What can we come up with? What can we establish me to do besides giving people water, giving the kids water? So we came up with a game plan. We went into a IEP, because I was in an IEP, and I stood up myself and asked everybody in front of them. I said, not if I can get permission. I want permission to do this. And I'm fully aware of potential liabilities if a kid or player runs into a walker, this and that. We went around and around for a little bit, but my mentor, kept fighting for me. He continuously had meetings with different people. He had meetings with who he needed to, and then 2 weeks later, out of nowhere, he's like, "Okay, you're on the team and you're doing this. You're going to learn how to be a coach." and he took me behind the scenes and he taught me from like the ground up. He's like film breakdown to being a great coach, and that's literally what I've done, and I've continued to do it, and I'm going to continue to do it. It's a passion of mine, So, and that's what's got
And
me here today with you.
now, what I didn't know was, because I know this all started where you are out in California. Did I hear you mention something about it went nationally, like in Florida?
It went all the way to Florida. I think it went even to like Illinois. There's a couple parts in Illinois it went to, and I only know it went to there because they actually had to call me for permission to use parts of the law. The whole law didn't get approved, but I know they used sections and they talked about that, and that was however long ago that was, a few years ago. So it's out there. Parts of it at least are out there.
So, now I would imagine that this whole process that you've been able to overcome wasn't no cakewalk. So I'm not even gonna really talk about that. But like, out of all the struggles that you had to go through, what would be you would say is your toughest one right now to date?
It's hard to answer, but I'll answer it to the best of my ability because I'm gonna literally tell you nothing's gonna, be hard, but I'll tell you what a struggle is. And the struggle probably to this date is to walk and to drive a car, which I can't do. But to sit back and really, if you want an answer, I'll give you the answer. But I'm gonna tell you, like I said, like I carry myself, nothing's gonna stop me. I'll figure out a way. Like it mentioned in the video. And just because I can't drive a car, just because I can't do those things, I have side by sides, I have off-road vehicles, I have tractors that I drive. I can drive a vehicle. It's just for the vision effect of it, I've opted out not to even attempt to drive. I did get a permit when I was 16. I had a permit for X amount of time, and I made the grown-up decision. I'd rather keep somebody else alive than risk killing them because I can't see properly.
No, I just, I'm completely baffled, Coach, because it's like you are like such an inspiration. I come on this show week in and week out, and I always like to talk at least a little bit or mention that if I can do it and overcome my issues and my struggles, anybody can do it. But your story literally it kicks the shit out of mine. And that's inspiring in itself, man, because it's just like, just when I thought I had it bad and my obstacles were hard to overcome, the deck was stacked against me. I love coming in contact with like people like your story and whatnot, because like that feeds the fire in somebody in me even more. That motivates me even more to want to be like, what? Like, I fucking thought I had it all wrong and I had the struggles. If this guy over here can do it, I know for a fact that I fucking can. You know what I mean? Like, it's so
Well,
motivating.
and that's why I do things like I'm doing tonight, because it just continues to send messages to people that think that they have it hard. They think that they have struggles. And again, when I'm asked to talk about it, I'll talk about it. But on a typical day, I don't, because I'm going to tell you, like it said in the video, nothing's going to stop me. I can, I can do whatever the average human does. Yeah, it might look different. It might look awkward, but it's going to get done just as well as somebody else can do it. And I'm glad to continue to bring that fire and continue to push that, because if you know me like you have gotten to build a relationship with me, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win the day. I'm gonna win the hour. I'm gonna win the minute. I'm gonna win life. And that's what this is about. Sports on the side of it, but that just helped me understand how to win at life. Sports really changed my life. It really made me be the person I am today. Because I was your typical shy person. I didn't speak to anybody. I really didn't have any friends until I had the opportunity in high school to do what I did. And I still cherish those moments to today, and I look back back on them all the time. So I'm glad that this will help maybe inspire you, because that's my goal, is to keep inspiring not just, younger students, younger individuals, but even people of your age and whatnot. So in this whole platform.
It's crazy because, like, one of the questions I ask myself almost every day is, and there could be a bunch of different answers to it, but what motivates me every single day since I've started my journey. And one of those answers is the haters, the people who wish that I wouldn't wake up breathing every day. And you know what? I don't have to say nothing. I don't have to do nothing. I just gotta wake up, take a fresh breath air, have my cup of coffee and a cigarette, and that's enough to piss them off. What fuels your fire? What would you say? I'm sure there's many answers, but if you had to give me one or a couple, what keeps you going, guy?
I stress it all the time. That's a great way to start this question. To be honest with you, is energy. I'm all about energy, high level energy. And keep the negative comments coming. If there is not, I'm not saying on here specifically, but in life, keep the negative comments coming. Keep the negative. I had tons of naysayers for my season this year for basketball, and I think we did phenomenal for what we had and stuff like that. So just other people's comments really give me fire, and I find I have my own inner core things, my own inner core values that I stress and I live by to this day. And I'll just say one of them right now is never, don't cheat the process. There's a process in life for a reason. Don't cheat the process. There's I've learned that, there's going to be constant uphill battles, for example, good, bad, and indifferent, but don't cheat the process. Visualize success, visualize what you want to happen with your life, and it will come together. Maybe not as clean and not as pretty as you might want, but visualize it, picture it in your mind how you want your life to go, and you can make it go any way you want.
Absolutely, man. So I do have a couple of questions in the comment section. One of them is from Jerry Souza, that JJ Souza there. He asked, he said, are you trying to get part of the law passed in other states?
Oh, absolutely, I am, and I can't say it's still a work in progress, but at the time it was an active work in progress. But even reaching out on these platforms and these different things like that, who knows what eye we can catch. Somebody might come across this and be bigger, better, and badder than all of us, and say, I'm going to take that guy's story and we're going to make it into something. Because that's literally how my law got started, was from somebody higher than me, higher than the rest of us, and said, I got some power, let's put your story together and let's build. So there's a possibility. Nothing's out of the picture.
And also the coach, the comments are going crazy. The chat's lighting up. All right. Yeah. This is absolutely amazing. So Rob Hendrickson also said, God bless you, bro. Your story is so touching. You're a champion in my eyes, man. Never giving up and always pushing for more. And to touch on that a little bit, JJ Souza also said that he would be great at motivational speaking.
I've done motivational speaking before. That's something that I don't hide it, but I don't address it. I've done plenty of motivational speaking. I've gone to schools. I've gone to middle schools, high schools. I've spoken in front of thousands of people, lobbyists, everything like that. So yeah, I appreciate that. That's a compliment. I'm going to continue to do that. And this is another form of motivational speaking. Just has a camera in front of you. That's all it is.
And the second I seen Jerry put that in the comment section that he would be great at motivational speaking, I know that you've already told me that before in the past. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, let's throw this at him, because I had already known. But we're gonna play a quick video.
Okay.
Please, man, whenever you're ready.
RJ was born 2 pounds 2 ounces. 16-year-old RJ Field of Riverside has overcome so much. He wrote in a contest essay about being a kid born with cerebral palsy because his drug-addicted welfare mother wouldn't stop using during her pregnancy.
Those receiving these monies do not have to be drug-free. Why? In order to receive any government assistance, drug screening should be required.
Assemblyman John Benoit, who sponsored the There Ought to Be a Law contest, was appalled to hear RJ was born with traces of heroin, marijuana, methamphetamine, alcohol, and cocaine in his system, drugs his biological mother used while on welfare.
His mother was taking money that the state gave her and buying drugs.
Assemblyman Benoit dubbed RJ the contest winner, writing a proposed state law requiring welfare moms to submit to a random drug test. Positive results mean they have to go to rehab or lose their benefits. The Inland Empire Republican allowed RJ to submit the bill, which is aimed at preventing more cases like his.
Anybody that can come, anybody that can see what I've been going through, what I have to go through, is a good thing.
But if you think this proposal is a shoo-in, it does have opposition. Besides the financial burden of drug tests, counties already have the ability to order a test for recipients who are suspected of drug use.
The world has changed since what happened to him occurred. We now have a welfare system that requires people to go to work. We do screen people for substance abuse.
It is
So, talk about the bill a little more, Coach.
So, the bill basically, like I kind of even mentioned beforehand, is like I treated it like this. It's basically a bill to provide funding or a special outlet for what we were proposing was to do literally random drug testing. And I'm talking about when the person comes up to the line and get in line to get those I don't want to call it perks, but get those benefits. Let's just say that, get those benefits, and they will pull you out of the line randomly and take a random drug test. Yes, like the opposition said, I don't remember that gentleman's name anymore, but like the opposition said, there is those things, but is it true random drug test? You know, do they really go up in front of someone, catch them off guard, and pull them out of line and do that? That was the whole purpose of that. And then I was going to implement, and which I did implement in there, is a 3-strike system, just like if you were in baseball. You get 3 opportunities, 3 chances to do it. If you keep screwing up, we're going to pull you. You're done. And then you can go find other resources, or we can help you find those other resources and put you in a program that you might really need.
That's absolutely amazing, man. You know, the fact that you were able to, get this as far as it's gone. Before we take, because we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break, but I just have one question. Also, this is from Jerry as well. Jerry just wants to know, what is the biggest hurdle getting this law passed?
The biggest hurdle is just amounts of opposition. They don't really take the time to sit down with you and let you explain your vision or your proposal to them. They just say, "Here's a piece of paper, or take your law, put it on my desk. I'll look at it when I get to it, and if I decide to agree with you, I'll call you back in 30 days or whatever." And that's the hardest problem is people don't want to take the time to understand my life story when it comes to senators and assemblymen on different sides. They just, oh no, well, that's just too much money. Let's just, we'll kick it out the door.
Well, Robert, I deeply appreciate you, once again, even coming on here and sharing all this. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. And because you've done such a great job with, telling us your story, telling us every obstacle that you've been through, I'm going to hit you with some shit after this break.
Okay.
That made me really connect to your story even more. Okay. So we're going to take this 5-minute break, and I'm going to tell you guys some shit when we come back. What's going on, guys? Hopefully, everybody enjoyed that quick break. Hope whatever you had to do was quick, and I hope everybody's back in the room, guys. Just in case if you missed it, I do know that we got a couple more viewers that had just popped in. We're talking with Robert Fields here today, also known as Coach. He's been sharing with us his journey through life, from his his mother being addicted to heroin at birth. He's not even supposed to be with us here today. He's overcome every obstacle ever thrown at him, and you see the man that you see in front of you today. He's gotten bills passed not only just in California, but there are other states and cities within certain states that are also picking the bill up as time goes on. Coach, how was your break, bud?
It was good. It was good. It gave me a good minute to reflect and take a couple of deep breaths. But we're back. We're good.
All right. Everything fine? You feeling good?
Yep.
You know, Coach, I just want to thank you again for sharing everything with us. But I gotta ask, you watch my show every week?
I do. Well, not every week, but ever since I found you and found this platform, I've watched the last 3 shows.
Do you know what I do on this show?
Yeah.
I've gone this is episode 19, and 16 of them I literally share nothing but my life experiences, what I have done, troubles I've caused, holes I've dug myself in and had to re-dig myself out of them. But to have somebody like you on the side of me today, and the months we've known each other and talked, to hear your story, you know what the first thing I thought of when you showed me your videos?
What's that?
I thought of my youngest son. My youngest son, his name is Jameson. And I want to tell you, when Jameson was born, I was addicted to opiates. His mother was addicted to opiates. They were Perk 30 with fentanyl on them. The day we went in to have Jameson, okay, they had found the opiates already in my kid's mother's system. Upon Jameson being born, because we weren't sure if he was going to make it, he was breech to begin with, and there was a couple of other things that was going on. Needless to say, when Jameson was born, he had to go to the NICU. And I thought I was going to lose him because of my own selfish needs, because of my kid's mother's own selfish needs. And when the doctor had come in stating like how they were going to have to treat him because he could have been addicted to the opioids already, they were going to have to shoot him up with small doses of morphine and all this other stuff, just to try to get him to overcome it. And man, I just remember picking him up one day and I was holding him. And I said, Bud, Daddy's going to get clean. I don't know exactly how I'm going to make it happen, but I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to go on the right path.
Good for you.
And dude, I'm over here, I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you and knowing like your mom was addicted to heroin and all this other shit. I'm looking at and I'm thinking to myself, this could have been my kid. And not only could this have been my youngest child, but would he have been able mentally and physically to overcome half of these obstacles that you've overcome from your baby stage to the present time? I watched that video a minute and a half, and that was the reason why I stopped, because it fucked me up.
It might have, but also at the same time, I think it sends you a message. And you know what? If I can save one life, and if I'm gonna say it, if it's your kid's life, then I've done my job. I've done my job. So.
And I gotta say, and I want to let you know, just by sending me that, dude, that just inspired me even more, because I always say that, I don't do counseling no more because I feel like I have all the tools I need. I just need to, keep putting them all into action. I need to keep finding these different things that interest me to keep my mind occupied. Mossy, one of them. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what ASMR was and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm falling out of things to like keep my mind occupied and on a positive. And then boom, I find her. You know what I mean? And then it's like thinking when like there's nothing else that I may need. You know what I mean? Other than my support system and listen to Mossy doing her craft. You know what I mean? I talk to different people. I come into contact with you, and then it's just like, dude.
Hey, it's all part of the puzzle, man. We're building the puzzle.
Exactly.
Thanks for sharing some of those pictures. That means the real to me that this gets out there in a lot of different ways. And like we talked about earlier, it's just about, and I stress it all the time to people in my life, family in my life, but to my players, it's just a process. So.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even talking about like selling the food stamps and stuff like that, just to get her fixed. Dude, I don't know how it is out in California, but I was doing the same thing out here. You get $200 in food stamps, you sell that shit for $100 in cash. You know what I mean? And then, there you go. It's a real fucking thing. I did it. I know too. you, and you know, but I gotta ask you, like, to this present day, have you ever had any contact with your biological mom?
No, she unfortunately had passed before I had that opportunity, but I did to take it to another extreme. My biological father was still alive, and how this came. That's I'm going to branch off a little bit. I'm sorry if I'm going off topic, but
No, don't
um,
worry about it. I do it all the
but
time.
but so probably 4 years, maybe 3 years ago now, I got really, really sick, almost bedridden. I had something going on really bad with me. Couldn't figure it out. Didn't know what was going on. I almost died. But I happened to do one of those 30 and what is it? Those DNA test or whatever, just to see if we could find somebody with my DNA around me or something. Long story short, we did one of those, and about 2 weeks later, came back, and apparently I had another brother, two other sisters, and a father that was still supposedly living. But there was a problem with one of them because when I ran the first test, it came back that I had two dads, but we weren't sure because the one supposedly didn't do his part of the uh, um, DNA test. So because of that, we couldn't go all the way back in history to see if what other issues they might have had that I carried with me, so on and so forth. So um, my parents, currently at the time, reached out to them and said, "Hey, can actually no, actually this is how it happened. One of their cousins from that side of the family reached out to my parents and said, "Hey, we see that there's a match on the platform. Can we reach out to you and talk to you?" And so along the lines of probably a year or two, then the they contact each other and start communicating. And at the very given moment, I didn't want to communicate with any of that side. I kind of put that in the past and said I've moved on and let's go. But long time down the road, so I met my brother and I met my sister. We went to a restaurant and we did that, and then probably month after that, they call me and say, "We need you and we need you now." And I was like, okay. Uh,
Yeah, all right.
and they said, "Our dad is dying." And I said, "Okay, but I'm gonna just be upfront with you. To me, he's not my dad because of the situation." And they knew the situation, and they said, "Okay, but they said it's his dying wish to meet you. Can you do that for us as your brother and sister?" And I just profusely started sweating, and I panicked, and I was like, "No, absolutely not. Shut it down. No, 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 I don't want anything to do with that." But then, being the person that I am, and having the heart that I did, 2 or 3 days later, they call me again. "Are you going to do it? Because he doesn't have long to live, and he's at this hospital, and I will come pick you up, and we will go as a family." And I go, "Okay, but I don't want, And I gave him some, I guess, guidelines or whatever. But anyway, long story short, we did it, and I did get to meet my dad, and literally the next day, things took place and it happened. But I'm honored to say I actually had the strength to do it.
Damn, man. No, this, this is this is amazing, man. I'm so proud of you. You know, the chat here is just loving every minute of this. The the feedback is just absolutely amazing. I just want to also say thank you to everybody who's commenting, you're liking this. You know, this is really humbling, to hear stuff like this, guys. And this is part of the reason why, I do this show. You know, I know when we do this show and we air it, I fall off the map for maybe a couple of days or a day. It all depends. And I just want to let you guys know that it's moments like this that makes this show and what I go through well worth it. It's because where I want you guys to learn or pick up something, even if it's the littlest thing on this show, to help you get through each and every day. All right. And, that is part of my message of doing this show. If there's one episode that I air that can help you guys, if there's one thing that I could say out of the hour that I'm up here yapping that sinks into the back of your minds, it's all well worth it. If I can teach you guys or show you guys a way to offer help to somebody and show them that the impossible is actually possible, I did my job. And this man on the side of me is no different. If anything, I would say that he's even stronger than I am. If you guys feel that no matter what you do on a daily basis is not good enough, I want you to go back and rewatch episode 19 of what you guys are watching now and take a listen to it. Because this is the definition of you guys can really overcome anything. It's not going to be easy. Nothing's fucking easy. Nothing. Even if you were born with the silver spoon in your mouth, walking around like, king shit, because fucking mommy and daddy do everything for you, there's going to come that day when you're going to fucking hit a brick wall. And you're not going to know how to get over it or around it. And Robert Fields, you found ways over and around those fucking brick walls, my man.
Absolutely. So I was talking with your producer here a minute ago. He wants me to talk about a little bit about the young lady that's next to me in the picture up on the top left of my screen. I'm not sure how it's showing on your guys' screen, but
yeah, we got it.
She is someone who played for me on my former basketball team in 2020 and 2021. She had the opportunity to try out for high school ball, but things didn't work out. And she's just as passionate, probably more passionate than me about this game. And, her and her family reached out to me and said, is there anything we can do to maybe, help you and give back to you? And I said, what do you mean about that? And she, the mom said, well, can she help you or whatever? And so I thought about it and I was like, you know what? If you're willing to, sacrifice time and money and stuff like that and gas, and why doesn't she be an assistant coach with me? So now I've had the pleasure and the honor to teach somebody else at a younger age, not only the game of basketball, but the game of life, because that's what coaching is to me. So. Oh, and then he mentioned, sorry, he mentioned something else. The gentleman on the left with glasses, he has been a longtime friend of mine. I actually, back when I went to middle school, he was one of the teachers there at my middle school. So that's how we have this connection with these kids in the picture. They come from middle school, and then we bring them together, and then we play on teams through Park and Rec, and that's how we get opponents and we compete. And again, as long as I teach them, but I teach them to win, and I teach them the right way to win, and we do what we do. We had a good record this year, 5-2-1. So, sorry, dogs are getting crazy.
Right, but fine.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this show.
That picture right there, man, that's all energy. I talk about energy. I told you guys about energy. If you bring the right energy, you could do anything in life. And that picture defines energy right there. And that picture defines we were in a gut-wrenching back and forth game, and we won by 3 points because of energy. If you bring the right energy in life, nothing's going to stop you. Nothing's going to stop you. But I want to take my time right now and thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank your producer for doing this. I want to thank this chat room. I think personally, from my perspective, this is the busiest I've ever seen a chat room on something like this. So I wanted to thank your audience for being here and listening. And if I can continue to change one life, that's all we're doing.
And I just want to say too, like this isn't even half of it. There's a whole nother platform. I can't see the YouTube ones yet, just because I know like I'll connect that somewhere down the road. But I know when they connect to Facebook, that's a bigger platform or whatever. But dude, it is lighting up. My producer just wants to come in for one quick minute. I'm sure he's
Absolutely.
probably got a couple of questions or things he want to say. If you don't mind.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. Come on in, Blaze, man.
Hey, thanks for having me real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Robert, you and I talked before the show, and again, appreciate you coming on FFN Network and Unboxed Thoughts. Nicholas's show is just getting better and better. He's finally doing what we told him to do, and myself and JJ Souza is you gotta stop bringing people in that have similar stories to yours. People that are watching now, um, this is what Unboxed Thoughts is. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Nick has got his little TikTok thing going and stuff like that, and that's to me when I watch it and stuff. That's just Nicholas just finding a way to to keep himself mobile, steady, stuff like that.
Level-headed. Yeah.
Right, level-headed, and when it comes to Unboxed Thoughts, FFN Network, any Unboxed Thoughts, this is what we do, bro. This is what Nicholas does. And I'd like to thank you again for coming on and sharing your story. You're always welcomed on FFN Network anytime. All right,
You're
young
very
man?
welcome. You're very welcome, and thank you guys again for this opportunity. And if I can keep getting opportunities like this, then that I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right. And Nick, I'm gonna do something special for you. I don't know when, I don't know the timeline, but we're gonna meet in person someday, and we're gonna shake hands, man to man. So
Absolutely, man. I
we'll figure
appreciate
it out.
that. Flip up the screen. I deeply appreciate it, man. And like I said, dude, your story is so inspiring. I want to thank you personally for inspiring me and giving me a new light. You know what I mean?
Good.
Giving me more fuel to keep my fire burning. Because this show, I say it all the time, man. It is as genuine, authentic, and truthful as it gets. You know what I mean? And I know that how my producer says he's got his little TikTok thing going on and stuff like that, but
it's your outlet, man. It's your
and
outlet.
it really is, because it's like when people come here from TikTok or people from here go to TikTok, I get that question all the time, man. It's like, hey, whoa, like what you are on TikTok is nothing like Unboxed Thoughts, and Unboxed Thoughts is nothing exactly, and that's how it's supposed to be, because I love this show. This show means everything to me, and it's like, but dude, like they tell you don't relive your past. I have to relive my past every time I air one of these shows to be, anybody's example or like what not to do, or this is what you should try to do. You know what I mean? When I'm on there, that's like part of my mental vacation. You know what I mean? I can be all freaking goofy and giggly and stuff like that. I can here too. You know what I mean? But it's a completely, different realm. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
well, yeah, it's different, and you draw different audiences wherever you go. And people think, oh, and I'm not saying they do, but some people think, oh yeah, he's just sitting on a chair. But let me tell you, outside of my room and outside of my household, it's a different world on the outside.
Yep.
You continuously have to fight. You continuously have to say your story. But if you're strong within yourself, no matter what it is, no matter anything, you can accomplish it. And like we talked about earlier, let the haters hate. The more hate you give me, the more fire I'm gonna come and I'm gonna kick your ass.
And that's what it's all about, man. It's all about overcoming those obstacles and, you know, if we can do it, man, anybody can. And I want everybody to know that. And everybody in here, if you're going through something, I tell you all the time, you're not alone. We're all in this together. All right. And
teamwork, baby. Teamwork.
we're going to keep carrying along together. You know what I mean? Well, if we see each other every day, we talk with each other every day, we find a way to communicate with each other at some point in time. And, through the roughest times, through the best times.
Absolutely. Well, I think your producer's at 2 minutes. I just want to take my second real quick and thank you again. Thank your producer. Thank your chat for being here. It really motivated me seeing these comments scroll and seeing some of the stuff that I read personally. So thank you for this opportunity, brother.
All right, man. And I deeply appreciate it again, man. And, thank you for everything. I appreciate you being here. And keep your fire burning, bro.
I will. I will, most definitely.
All right, guys. So that is it. You guys win episode 19. Episode 19 with our special guest.
What are you doing? Why are you still holding back? Have you forgotten what they said to us? What they did? They think you're a monster.